Hey everyone, welcome to the video of the week. Today's video of the week is on my personal personas for my WWE 2K18 and soon to be 19 games. And also why I got them and some more info in this special Wrestle Talk video today. So we're going to start out with Apocalypse. Apocalypse, his biggest rival or rivals of all time is his brother Sinister, who's another one of my creative people who we'll be talking about very shortly, and the Demon Finn Balor. His greatest ally, he doesn't really have any allies. He's kind of like a loner. And the reason why I created him was he was based because he's always felt alone and depressed. And growing up, I had a lot of depression issues. And at times, I felt alone even though I wasn't. So he was a character pretty much based behind that. Because he kind of felt the same way growing up. Like, everything was going on around him and he was feeling alone. Even though I know that I wasn't alone, it was just me feeling like that. His signature moves include the Brainbuster and the Top Rope Brainbuster. And they're both called You're Dead. That's what he calls them. And his finishing moves are the swinging reverse STO, or sometimes referred to as Sister Abigail. And he calls that the end of the world. And he also does the end of days, which is Baron Corbin's finisher move. Some bonus info about him. He was originally Black Crow and Sinister's brother. However, he disowned them due to his character, and he disowned them due to his feelings as well. And if he is a baby face or heel, he is a heel. He is very much a loner. He doesn't really get along with much people. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our second person. Our next person is someone that you guys might know if you guys are on Facebook. And specifically if you guys watched The Return and or if you guys watched Rise or Return of the Dog Pound. And it is Hellhound. Hellhound's greatest rivals, I would say, I kind of split it up into a lot of people. Which I said authority figures in a way. And I would say if I had to choose just one, and specifically Triple H, because he's fought a lot with Triple H. And greatest allies, I just said the Dog Pound members, whomever they are at the time, because the Dog Pound is very unpredictable. And in other words, I said his stable. The reason why I created him is because he's almost like my alter ego. So he was created as like a reason why when I was growing up I had a lot of issues, and I kind of always in my head blamed it on him. But he obviously had an important role in my life because I went on to create a character about him. I went on to pretty much embrace him, and he still shows his face here and there in my life. I'm sure my mom and them already know that, but he is someone that's very important to me because growing up he did help me grow up a lot. So his signature moves are the super kick and the dungeon lock or heart lock, but he calls it the alpha lock, which you guys might know. His finishing moves are the slapjack or double underhook facebuster, which he calls the alpha's call, and the spear, which he calls the royal howl. And bonus information about him, he was also made for Rise and Return of the Dog Pound series. He is also based on my love for mythology as well. And he is not really a heel or a babyface. He's kind of like an in-betweener. It kind of is like a basis to basis type of thing. It depends on who he's fighting. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to a fairly newer one that I just created this year in 2K18, which was Corey Carr. Corey Carr is a character that's, I think, unique, but his greatest rival is AJ Styles. I know you guys really don't really get to see most of these people. You only get to see certain times if you're on Facebook. His greatest allies, however, are the Undisputed Era and Seth Rollins. And his reasons why he was created was Seth Rollins is one of my favorite wrestlers. And I wanted to make a character that is kind of like his protege or someone that he trained. His signature moves are the super kick and the TKO. And he also does an occasional curb stomp as his signature move, which is a tribute to Seth Rollins. His finishing moves are the charging 450 splash, which he calls the Superman splash, and the spear, which he calls the car crash. And his bonus information, he was supposed to be trained by Seth Rollins. We kind of covered that. Heel or babyface, he too is kind of like an in-betweener. I would say he's more towards babyface, but he has his moments, like when it comes to the Undisputed Era. He can get into some sticky situations. But moving on, the next one is Sinister. Sinister is probably, if I have to choose, besides Hellhound, is probably my favorite persona. And his greatest rivals is obviously Apocalypse, who we talked about in the beginning of this episode. He is his brother, and the Hardy Boys. And his greatest allies are Sting and Black Crow, who is also his brother, Black Crow. Reasons created, I had a lot of issues growing up, especially school-related issues and depression issues and anxiety issues. And he was like my character based behind me growing up with those issues, because he kind of grew up with those issues as well. And his signature moves are the Discuss Clothesline, which he calls Sinister's Way. Butterfly Pile Driver, which he calls Demon Wings. His finishing moves are the Curb Stomp, which he calls Straight to Hell. And the Dragon Sleeper with Body Scissors, which he calls the Internal Nightmare. And his bonus information is he had a rough life growing up, which caused him to have a lot of mental health issues. So he created Sinister, his alter ego, to kind of relieve the stress from his everyday life. And he too is kind of like an in-betweener, because he's not really heel or babyface. He kind of just goes as is. So moving on, we got Black Crow. Black Crow is the last one of Sinister's brothers, and he's also Apocalypse's brother as well. His biggest rivals are the Hardy Boys and Apocalypse, which is his older brother. Greatest allies are Sting and Sinister, which is his brother as well. The reason why I created him was he's much like Sinister. He had a lot of issues growing up as well, and he's kind of more into like the school issues, being like the bad kid in a sense, or labeled as the bad kid. And his signature moves are the Curb Stomp, which he calls Straight to Hell, which is based off his brother. And the Brain Buster, which he calls You're Dead, which is also based off his other brother, Apocalypse. He also has his own finishing move, which are the Butterfly Pile Driver, which is Crow's Wings, which his brother does the same thing, but his brother calls it the Demon Wings. So it is kind of like a tribute to his brother, Sinister. And he also has another finishing move that he's the only one that does, which is the Disarmor, which is a submission hold more commonly known for being done by Becky Lynch. And she and he calls it the broken wing. And his bonus information about him is he's based off his older brothers Sinister and Apocalypse, and he's more like Sinister. He too is a betweener. He's not really a heel or a babyface, and he is very he's the younger one out of all of them. Apocalypse is the middle one, and Sinister's the oldest, so it goes Sinister, Apocalypse, then Black Crow. Obviously, though, Apocalypse kind of like is the loner one. Black Crow is kind of like the bad boy type, and Sinister is kind of like the one that he has the most knowledge about life, but he also is very psychotic as well. That's his character. And moving on, we have our final persona, which is myself, Douglas Palm. So myself, in the wrestling world, my biggest rivals, according to the game wise, is John Cena and Brock Lesnar. And this kind of stems from the fact that I don't really care much for Brock Lesnar and John Cena as my personal own views. And so that's kind of stems onto that. And my greatest allies are also kind of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE currently. Now these aren't all of them, but these are just some of my current favorite, and some of his greatest allies as well. And they are Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and AJ Styles. The reason why I created him is because he is me. I mean, he is plain and simple just me. My finishing or my signature moves that I use for myself are the Twist of Fate, which is kind of like a tribute to the Hardy Boys because I'm a big fan of the Hardy Boys. Spine Buster, which I call the mini rock bottom because I used to wrestle around with my family members, and that was kind of like a move I would always do. It was just something, and I just started calling it the mini rock bottom. I don't know why. It's just something I went with. His finishing moves are the Styles Clash, which I call the Palm Clash, obviously my last name. Palm Cutter, which is also RKO. That is probably going to change. These are definitely going to be changing probably. Because I always like to keep it different sometimes. So I don't know what I'm going to end up doing after that, but I'm probably going to end up changing these because these are his finishers and that for years now, and this is what I've been doing for probably since like 2K14. So some bonus information about him is, or I'll get to that in a minute, but he is a babyface. He is pretty much my only character that is solely a babyface. In other words, he's a good guy. And he is someone that you kind of want to have on your side, I guess. And some bonus information about me is, if you guys already know, I have a dog named Dom, and you guys all probably seen him in the background of my videos and that, but I've also got a new character and a new pet as well. He's a skinny pig, and you guys will be meeting him very shortly in this video. But first, I want to tell you guys that tomorrow is going to be a Wrestle Talk is returning. The original Wrestle Talk is returning, and I'll be talking about NXT UK, where I'll be talking about Pete Dunne, Trent 7, Tyler Bate, Zack Gibson, and Wolfgang. And also remember that next Sunday's video of the week will be me creating my mom, sister, brother-in-law, and nephew in Sims 4. So you guys will not want to miss that. And now let's get into meeting my new pet. His name is Blade, and he is a skinny pig. Okay guys, I know he's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to try to get in the light. But there he is. He's only about 2 weeks old. Um, and again, his name is Blade. He's a skinny pig, which is a version of hairless guinea pigs who kind of has a little bit of hair on his face and back in it. And he um, is very, very shy at first, but he's very cute and I love him. So we're gonna end out the video here because we're gonna spend some time with him. And so yeah, have a great day. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.